This is literally saying, I know you're a little kid who doesn't know how to read labels. F you, we're putting in this ingredient at 1 milligram, so it makes it seem like the formula is more comprehensive. Eat my dick. Added ATP at 1 milligram. Like, these two ingredients, you might as well drop your nuts on my head. Like, that's how bad this is. What's up guys, Derek, markplacemermaids.com. Today we're going to be talking about the pinnacle of esports, gaming, cognitive enhancement, fucking mind-muscle connection. The goddamn peak of performance, G Fuel. This product is the number one, I don't know, prevalent product in probably like even social media in general. Like, obviously esports are taking over, and a lot of the biggest influencers are guys who rose to fame off of their, you know, gaming platforms and streaming and, you know, the Fortnite shit and, you know, Call of Duty back in the day and stuff like that. The evolution of stuff like FaZe Clan, the evolution of even like, you know, mainstream influencers like KSI and stuff. These were like off the back of like playing fucking FIFA or playing Call of Duty or playing, you know, Fortnite for like Ninja, like shit like that is how these guys blew up. And this company has become notable as like the main, you know, sponsor of a lot of these guys. Now, what's baffling to me is how a lot of these influencers, these mega fucking star social media influencers, are so willing to take a paycheck to get behind a product that is so pitifully dosed. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I'm not gonna hold back when I talk about this product. Like, I am shocked how many of the mega influencers like literally don't give a fuck what they're promoting and will just get behind it because they get paid a lot. So it's like, what kind of influencers do we have? Meet our squad. Let's see. So G Fuel has the likes of XQC, Twitch streamer, Logic, Twitch streamer and music artist, PewDiePie, the fucking biggest YouTuber ever, Roman Atwood, KSI, FaZe Rug, Summit, Hikaru, let's see, Nick Merckx. So a lot of these guys are the entire fucking FaZe clan. A lot of these individuals have massive fucking platforms, like absurdly large to the point that they bring in millions and millions of views on a daily basis. And it, like, to me, I can't imagine they haven't at least been approached by a company that has superior products one time, you know? And yet, they will still take a paycheck to promote. Like, okay, maybe it's a bit unfair for me to just say you need to promote the most effective product and rather, you know, the marketing has no effect on it and you shouldn't be swayed by big paychecks, because at the end of the day, you know, a company is a hybrid of, you know, how it makes the customer feel, the branding, etc. And it doesn't, you know, I guess it doesn't just come down to the efficacy of it, because there are definitely, you know, objectively products out there that, you know, you get more bang for your buck in all industries, but yet they're not as popular. Like, this is, you know, this is very prevalent. So maybe I'm letting the formula and my perspective as a formulator definitely take over my analysis here, and I'm kind of went off the fucking rails. I haven't even started. So these guys all back this brand and get paid a fuck ton for sure. But let's get into the actual formula. So basically they have this tried and true blend that is in every single one of their formulas, essentially, time and time again in different flavor systems. So this is the formula. Like, this is the PewDiePie, inspired by PewDiePie. Is this, you know, the flavor system inspired by him? I guess so, because it's certainly not the fucking formula, which is the same thing we see over and over again. A divine elixir suitable for only the most epic of gamers. A taste bud tingling lingonberry infused tonic of Scandinavian origin. A delicious tribute to our most treasured friend. We give to you a flavor that needs no introduction, even though we're giving it one right now. PewDiePie G Fuel, inspired by PewDiePie. It's time for flavor. 40 servings per tub, sugar-free, 15 calories, focus complex, antioxidants. So how effective is this shit? Let's get into the formula. So we have 40 servings, 15 calories per serving. Now, note, we have 3 proprietary blends which make up the bulk of the formula. All this shit here is essentially just a underdose multivitamin. We have vitamin C, we have vitamin E, we have a bit of niacin, we have vitamin B6, B12, choline. Now, again, the choline component, you know, is interesting because that is something that is actually going to be cognitive enhancing and is typically not easily attained through your dietary intake, which all this other shit, like you should be covering your basis with diet and like obviously choline you should too, but it's more often than not people are deficient in that, and I can see why the supplementation of it is often warranted. And then sodium, kind of irrelevant. Basically this whole fucking area is kind of pointless, and the choline here at 80 milligrams using bitartrate, of all the choices of choline you could be using, like why would you not be leveraging something that is actually going to enhance cognitive performance? Rather, they choose an underdosed amount of the worst performing choline format that you could possibly include. Instead of including something like alpha GPC or even CDP choline, they put in choline bitartrate, which is baffling to me. So alpha GPC, alpha glycerol phosphorylcholine, is the highest quality and most bioavailable format of choline you can be supplementing with, and even using mega doses of straight up choline have shown to have no cognitive effect in humans. And alpha GPC, on the other hand, though, is shown to cross the blood-brain barrier and provide a rapidly absorbed form of choline, which then, assists with the synthesis and release of acetylcholine. And having an adequate amount of choline and subsequent to that acetylcholine helps in a variety of different ways, not limited to just cognitive enhancement elements like mental acuity, sharpness, focus, information retention, memory, stuff like that. But in addition to that, it's very crucial in motor unit recruitment in the gym. Like you can actually get acute performance outcomes by supplementing with a high dose of alpha GPC pre-workout. And this is why it is my favorite form of bioavailable choline that I deploy in my supplementation regimen and in our products at Gorilla Mind. But anyways, how much choline do you need per day? Getting into the dosage they used in their product, as you can see, it is only 80 milligrams. So 80 milligrams, is that enough to do anything? You can see here they have to disclose the daily value. It's 15% of the daily intake, which is not very substantial when you need to be having at minimum 550 milligrams per day for a man or 425 milligrams for a woman. And obviously those are based on adequate intakes established by the Food and Nutrition Board for the National Institute of Medicine. They are not necessarily representative of what is ideal. It's just the minimum amount you need to meet bare minimum requirements for adequate function. So, like obviously we've seen how brutally underestimated adequate intakes can be in a variety of nutrients over the years, and there's evidence very, very suggestive that that number for choline is far too low. There was one study that showed that 2,200 milligrams of choline per day protected against the DNA damage that otherwise occurred in people only consuming 550 milligrams. There are not enough studies on choline, in my opinion. It's a severely lacking area of research considering how critical it is for brain health and as well as, cognitive enhancement, performance in the gym, etc. So for me personally, I would shoot for 900 to 1,200 milligrams of choline per day. And a big chunk of that can be hit through your dietary intake. So this is a graph I've compiled of milligrams of choline per 100 grams of different foods. So we have at the bottom of the totem pole, mutton, all the way up to beef liver, which is also known as nature's multivitamin, and for good reason. It's one of the most nutrient dense foods you can be eating. And I have 1 ounce of cooked beef liver every single day. Raw eggs is somewhere in the middle. Obviously, cook your eggs, don't eat them raw. This is just how it's formatted here. Things like chicken liver, beef liver, veal liver, all at the top. And closer to the bottom, we have things like pork loin, bacon, etc. I'm not saying you should have a fucking diet full of bacon. This is just a baseline assessment of showing how much choline is in the most choline dense of food. So personally, I have a few eggs per day. I have 1 ounce of beef liver, and then I supplement with 600 to 1,200 milligrams of alpha GPC on a daily basis, as on top of things like betaine anhydrous, creatine monohydrate, and other things that will support methylation. Now, I've done some deep dives in the past on choline's effects on, particularly alpha GPC's effects on Alzheimer's, dementia, neurodegenerative diseases and whatnot, and how it can be deployed in a performance enhancing context. But basically what you need to know is that this dose, when it comes to G Fuel, the choline bitartrate, is a piece of shit dose, unfortunately, and this is not an ideal choice of a format of choline for a product that is literally designed for focus, reaction time, and is supposed to be the #1 mental product for gamers. This is not an ideal dose, nor is it an ideal format. I don't know why the fuck they wouldn't have included alpha GPC. Now, getting into the proprietary blends, because the rest of the underdose multivitamin is kind of irrelevant. We have an energy complex of taurine, L-Citrulline malate, caffeine, Glucoronolactone, and N-acetyl L-carnitine HCl. Focus Complex, another proprietary blend. Now again, these are commonly used to hide underdosed ingredients because you see 1.79 grams, you have no idea how much of this 1.79 grams is included of each ingredient. You only know that the highest dose ingredient is listed first in descending order to the least dosed ingredient in the blend, and they typically do it to hide the fact that they might be including literally 1 milligram of an ingredient just to list it on their product in order to claim the benefits of it, when in reality you're actually getting none of the benefits whatsoever, and it's just a fucking crooked marketing tactic in a lot of aspects. Now, interestingly enough, on their same website, they actually have a full disclosure version of G Fuel. I managed to pull it up here. It is the clickbait flavor. The craziest flavor ever. Is it the craziest because it has your fucking full ingredient disclosure? I don't know, but very well could be. So anyways, obviously we have the same blend at the top here. Getting into the full-blown breakdown of the energy complex and focus complex. So what you would expect from this for energy, you know, things that are going to be, I don't know, more adrenergic signaling, things that are going to be stimulating, things that are going to keep you awake and locked in. Things of this nature, I would imagine, would be the most leveraged components. Focus, you're looking at things that are, you know, neurotransmitter precursors. You're looking at cholinergics. You're looking at acetylcholinesterase inhibitors. You're looking at shit of this nature to try and enhance all kinds of vectors that you can for cognitive performance. And then antioxidants, I don't know why you would have this in. Like, I guess hypothetically you can get better mental clarity by including stuff like this. I guess, you know, that sort of makes sense, but at a 26 milligram dose in totality, what are we looking at? We're looking at a slap in the fucking face. That's what we're looking at. So anyways, let's break it down. Taurine at 1,000 milligrams. This is an antioxidant that is good. I like it. The efficacious dose is 500 milligrams to 2,000 milligrams, with dosages being well tolerated up to 3 grams per day, upwards of 4 grams per day for undisclosed durations of time, but 3 grams is well tolerated for long spans of time, and is, you know, likely the, I think 2 grams is a good dose personally. That's what I use every single day. Now, 1 gram, is that a good dose? It's reasonable. It's not the best, could be better, but it's not as underdosed as the rest of the formula. And this is something that can be used. You often see it in energy drinks. This is one of the most common adjuncts to use alongside with caffeine. It's often found in pre-workouts. There is some contradictory evidence to support that it may be not good to combine with stimulants, but nonetheless, it's a good ingredient, and I supplement with it. In general, I supplement with it away from workouts though for cognitive and just basic antioxidant properties. And this isn't bad. So anyway, 1,000 milligrams gets my approval. L-Tyrosine, 999 milligrams. So you can tell the reason this is such a weird dose is because at the bottom of their blend, they have 1 milligram of ingredients. So when you're trying to round out your proprietary blend to have, well, actually, to be honest, I was expecting that they'd want like a nice even number to hit 1,000 milligrams or something. So I thought that they would have that for that reason, but no, in fact, they're just randomly putting in 999 milligrams. I thought they were going to have this in there so then they could round this out to 1,000 milligrams and have it look nice and pretty. But no, they literally have 1,001 milligrams. Like, what the fuck, dude? They're literally slapping you in the face just for the sake of slapping you in the face. That's fucked up. Taurine, so 1,000 milligrams is good, but L-Tyrosine at 999. Do I think that is good? You know, it's okay. I would rather see 1.5 grams at minimum. This is a neurotransmitter precursor that can be quite helpful in cognitive. Basically, it's very good for mental clarity, mood regulation. It's a stimulant-free, feel-good kind of ingredient. It can help you get a bit more locked in. And this is the format I would like to see rather than N-acetyl L-Tyrosine, which is dog shit in comparison, which interestingly enough, they included in here at 1 milligram. Why exactly? Well, it's so you can claim the benefits of it, even though it does fucking nothing. Like, this is literally saying, I know you're a little kid who doesn't know how to read labels. Fuck you. We're putting in this ingredient at 1 milligram, so it makes it seem like the formula is more comprehensive. Eat my dick. Add his ATP at 1 milligram. Like, these two ingredients, you might as well drop your nuts on my head. Like, that's how bad this is. Okay, let's get into the higher ones. L-Citrulline malate. This is the worst dosage ever. This is for, in general, a pre-workout ingredient that would be used as a nitric oxide precursor. Malic acid perhaps might be able to buffer lactic acid and help in the gym a little bit, but in general, This is blended together to artificially inflate your label claims. And it's funny because even though they could do that here, they don't even bother. They're putting in 500 milligrams, which is the most pitiful dose you've ever fucking seen. You need 6,000 milligrams to get a minimum efficacious dose of L-Citrulline malate. I'm not even going to get into breaking down why this combination is problematic, listed as this combination right here, because at the end of the day, we're 5,500 milligrams off of the efficacious dose. So I'm not even going to break down why you would not want to list this on your label as L-Citrulline malate unless you are trying to be a little bit deceiving in some cases. Caffeine, like this is just blatant. It's not even deceiving. They're just, you know, again, nuts on your head. Caffeine, 140 milligrams. Decent dose, not too overly stimulating. This is something that clearly presents the opportunity for multiple dosing. So if you drank your G Fuel and then you wanted to have another serving after, well, we're not going to be overdoing the caffeine. You indeed can probably do another serving after and enjoy sipping on your clickbait flavor because you only have 140 milligrams. So, you know, you can probably push it up to 2 servings per day, you know, pretty easily. It's not going to be too problematic. Glucoronolactone. So this is an interesting ingredient that has no clinical research to reinforce its efficacy, and yet it is used in energy formulas quite often. Now, traditional pre-workouts don't seem to use this very often because it is not very stimulating. It does not seem to really do a whole lot of anything. Rather, it sounds like a fancy ingredient at a dosage that is not overly useful too. And I'm assuming this is the backbone of the formula, being G Fuel. I think glucoronolactone is actually the novel ingredient that is used in their preparation to differentiate it from other things in the industry. Interestingly enough, when you actually look into glucoronolactone, you see that it is a normal product of glucose breakdown in the liver. It is an ingredient in certain energy and sports drinks, such as Red Bull, as a supplement. It is advertised as a supplement to enhance athletic performance, detoxify the liver, and reduce mental fatigue. However, clinical research about the specific effects of this compound is scant. Naturally occurring is, as far as the pros and cons, no reported side effects. Might have liver and heart protecting effects. Might improve cholesterol levels. Might aid in cancer prevention. Nothing to do with cognitive enhancement. Cons combine. Okay, well, this isn't even really a con. Lack of clinical trials. Very few animal studies. Like, it doesn't even have like rodent data to reinforce its efficacy. Animal studies only examined its breakdown products. So it converts to glucuronic acid in the body. This conversion occurs back and forth through equal amounts of each molecule in the body, involved in detox and breakdown of glucose. Again, like, does this sound like something that we're going to be leveraging for acute stimulatory benefits to lock me into the fucking game? Not really, dude. Going down to the potential dosages deployed, interestingly enough, even Red Bull shits on G Fuel for dosage, a energy drink that traditionally you would not think has, you know, like when you see traditional energy drinks that are mainstream, you're not thinking like this has the max efficacious dose. Rather, they're very, very much marketing hype, having a high dose of caffeine. That's basically it. And yet it has 6 times the amount of glucoronolactone. Interesting. One 250 milliliter can contains 600 milligrams of glucoronolactone. So even if this was an efficacious ingredient, it certainly does not bode well for G Fuel that it has 1/6 of a Red Bull dose. So honestly, this ingredient, I don't have a lot to say about it. It's not very effective from what I've seen. And even if it was, in the Red Bull preparations and other energy drink preparations, which are like very, very mainstream, and to be honest, don't really feel a whole lot different than just a hit of caffeine. So if you're trying to differentiate the effects of glucoronolactone on its own, we can see that 600 milligrams is probably more effective and is well tolerated by millions of people who have taken it than 100 milligrams. So I think it's pretty safe to say it's safe and well tolerated, and the dosage deployed that's safe and well tolerated, if it was even efficacious at all, is 6 times higher than what G Fuel has. And even when you see it in singular monotherapy preparations on Amazon, it's, you know, at minimum 500 milligrams per capsule from what I've seen. So anyways, subpar dose again. N-acetyl L-carnitine, a form of L-carnitine that seemingly passes the blood-brain barrier, provides some cognitive effects as well as improving with fat mobilization and whatnot in terms of you know, L-carnitine's effects on androgen receptor upregulation, helping with fat loss in some capacity. Seems to be a reasonably effective ingredient when used at an efficacious dose, which is much higher than what you see here. Here you see 50 milligrams. And again, remember that oral L-carnitine is not bioavailable at all. The bioavailability is like 10 to 15% at most. So you're actually getting like fucking what, like 5 to 10 milligrams of this shit? Now, what is the dosage actually being used among bodybuilders and whatnot who are trying to actually get the effects out of it? They're literally injecting 500 milligrams pre-workout. That's the kind of dosages that bodybuilders are using for actual effects. And when you're using an oral preparation, they're using dosages upwards of 4,000 fucking milligrams, 3 to 4 grams of this shit in order to yield the equivalent actual yield of a, injection of 500 milligrams. So no, 50 milligrams is yielding basically butt fuck all and is doing absolutely nothing for you. And then again, we get into N-acetyl L-Tyrosine and ATP basically being listed just to claim the benefits that you're not actually getting because nuts on your head. Antioxidant Complex, 26 milligrams. We have this comprehensive formula here of different fruits and shit and the antioxidant properties that they can give you. And I'm not to doubt that fruits can help you in an antioxidant context, but when you're trying to claim that all of these fruits literally fucking sprinkled at 26 milligrams is gonna do anything for me, again, nuts on your head. This is a product that is basically saying, we know you're a kid who doesn't understand shit, watches PewDiePie, gets hyped up to buy this shit because you like FaZe Clan, and we're gonna drop our nuts on your head and make you spend $36 on it so you can sip some taurine and L-tyrosine and caffeine. Like that's basically what you're getting. Like what is useful in this formula? Flavor system, probably tastes good to sip on. We're getting some taurine, we're getting some L-tyrosine, we're getting some caffeine. That's it, dude. Like that's what you can expect from this. So if you're looking for an actual like adult formula that is actually going to fucking do something for you, that's where you look at nootropic formulas that are actually designed with efficacious dosages and combinations of ingredients that aren't dropping nuts on your head. You want to have things like alpha GPC at dosages no lower than 600 milligrams. You want to be seeing 600 to 1200 on a full formula. You want to be seeing cholinergics and neurotransmitter precursors, things like not just the straight up choline, which obviously is very necessary as well through the alpha GPC, but in addition to that, acetylcholinesterase inhibitors to inhibit the breakdown of acetylcholine. So you have both vectors being leveraged to not only enhance acetylcholine production, but in addition to that, preventing the breakdown of it. Things like huperzine A, things like ginkgo, things like L-theanine to assist with your caffeine to smooth it out and make it more tolerable and useful. Things like stimulants that are actually fucking effective and make you locked in and dialed in. This is the kind of stuff that you want to see in an effective nootropic formula rather than a sprinkled pixie dust fucking thing with a flavor system that tastes good just so a little kid can sip on it and feel like they are, a part of FaZe Clan or some shit. Now again, kudos to their marketing. They're a very successful company. Obviously what they're doing is working. So, I'm not trying to say they should change anything they're doing. It's just, to me, interesting how many influencers are so willing to get behind a formula and promote the fuck out of something that really is like the bottom of the totem pole in terms of efficacy relative to other products in the industry. So for me, if I was to encourage you to get something, I would be saying buy a nootropic formula that is actually designed for adults that are trying to get actual cognitive enhancing performance out of it and know how to read a label. So where would you get that? GorillaMind.com. Link in the description below. This is something I've created myself based on what I used in university to max out my mental clarity, cognitive enhancement, information retention, memory, etc., as well as stimulants included in them to actually make a fucking difference on top of caffeine, things that complement caffeine as adjuncts as well. Things of this nature seem to be totally neglected in the mainstream formulas, unfortunately, and even when they factor in things like cholinergics, they do not address all the different vectors they could be leveraging in order to maximize the efficacy of the formula. Rather, they hit the bare minimum, put in 1 milligram of the fucking shit to make it seem like you're getting effects from stuff when in reality it's just there to list it on the label. And in reality, you're just buying flavored powder pretty much. So anyways, my recommended nootropics are in the video description below. You can check it out if you're interested. This is the kind of shit that I am using myself on a daily basis to make videos like this. And remember the kind of shit that I'm fucking spewing back at the screen here and get all my work done and whatnot. And again, is it going to be a night and day difference? No. However, it does actually make a notable difference in that you are going to have more mental clarity, more focus. And when it comes to gaming, like I don't know how many hardcore gamers are going to watch this, but when it comes to reaction time, mental acuity, wakefulness, this kind of shit is obviously very, very important for long, duration streamers, guys who need to have that competitive advantage over their opponents who are using things like fucking G Fuel, thinking they're getting the highest tier performance outcomes when in reality they are selling themselves short. So this is the kind of thing you want to be doing. And this is above and beyond. Like when you think of Adderall and shit like that, you have to keep in mind, amphetamine is something that is going to enhance dopamine. These are things that are going to enhance your motivation to do whatever it is that you're doing, but it doesn't necessarily enhance your cognitive performance. It doesn't necessarily do anything above and beyond. Okay, it definitely can get you more motivated to do what you're doing, lock you in and keep you awake, but it's not going to actually affect things like acetylcholine breakdown, assisting in actually getting the nutrients to assist with brain function. Shit like this is what you want from a legitimate nootropic formula on top of your stimulatory ingredients to not only be dialed in and stay awake, but in addition to that, to actually improve cognitive outcomes. That's what you want to be getting from a comprehensive nootropic formula. If you want to get that, it's in the video description below. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.